Coming up on the Q30 Newscast, protesters are taking to the streets to spread their displeasure with President-elect Donald Trump.
Also, Thanksgiving is right around the corner. We'll see what students have planned for the holiday break.
Plus, Kyle Lavasser is in the building to talk some sports, and Mike Iozzo has my favorite segment of the night with weather.
All this and more coming up on the Q30 Newscast.
Good evening, I'm Kirby Paulson.
And I'm Brooke Riley. Protesters have taken to the streets all around the country to spread their displeasure with the President-elect Donald Trump.
Protests have been going on every day since the election, some taking place as close as New Haven. A few Quinnipiac students attended a protest last Wednesday, the day after the election, in New York City outside of Trump Towers.
Q30 spoke to one of those students who attended the demonstration.
The people were great. Like, everyone was very respectful. Like, there was no violence, no talking violence, nothing. Like, there were no mean chants. It was all very just that they were upset. It was all like just how they were feeling, how people were feeling, and it was great to watch it. I think because we're the future. We represent the future, and we're going to be like our generation. We're going to be the next president, the next. I don't know, everything. So we have to. It's important that our voices are heard because our voices are the ones that are going to matter in 10, 20, 15, 30 years. You know.
Students and professors stood on the library steps Friday afternoon to express their concern for the President-elect Donald Trump. Shanna Clark, Assistant Director of Advising and Student Development in the School of Communications, was among these demonstrators. They talked to people about...
So this demonstration came together to stand in solidarity with other people who were feeling threatened, who were feeling marginalized, who were very concerned about our president-elect and the repercussions that he would have on really and truly America and its citizens.
They talked to people about what they know from their research, student concerns, and how people can help the communities that have felt threatened by Trump, specifically Muslims, members of the LGBT community, women, and many more. Members of the protest believe there is a logical fear that some negative legislation that will pass as a result of this election. They hope to combat this legislation with demonstrations like this. Brooke, what a month it's been in the political world, huh?
Yeah, Kirby, it's certainly been quite crazy. John McMahon has an update on everything political. John?
Thanks, guys. Things have yet to calm down. The protests against Donald Trump's election win continue. The protests have spread across the country to cities like Miami, Atlanta, Philadelphia, New York, San Francisco, and Portland, and other cities, but protests are smaller. Although spread out demographically, they are all protesting against the same thing, Trump's campaign rhetoric. Thousands of people stand in the streets of major cities to send the message that Trump's language during his campaign. Things regarding the locker room talk or the anti-Islamic comments. People are offended and worried. Some of the protests have become violent. A man was shot in Portland, but no critical injuries. And many cities have stalled curfews and curfews and police are on high alert. Also resulting from Trump's win, the Mexican government is preparing for mass deportations that Trump promised if he became president. Trump said in a recent 60 Minutes interview that he'd be deporting or incarcerating up to 3 million illegal immigrants in the United States while he's in office. In the interview, he said, quote, "What we're going to do is get the people that are criminals and have criminal records, gang members, drug dealers, and have a lot of these people, probably 2 million, could be even 3 million. We are getting them out of our country or we're going to incarcerate." And, quote, "but we are getting them out of our country. They're here illegally." Current Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto is set to meet with Trump before he goes to office on January 20th, and will be their second time he meets the president-elect. Lastly, former mayor of New York City, Rudy Giuliani, has expressed interest in Secretary of State along other positions of President-elect Trump's cabinet. Giuliani spoke at the Wall Street Journal CEO Council this past Monday, suggesting several times that he was interested in the position, even laying out some of his own foreign policy plans for the position. At the conference, he addressed many issues the United States is facing now, including ISIS, the Middle East, relations with Russia and China. Giuliani suggested that the biggest priority facing the nation is to eliminate ISIS, in hopes to accomplish with that the first 2 years as Secretary of State. That's it for politics, guys. I'm John McMahon for Q30 News. Back to the desk.
Thanks, John. On Monday, the open registration period for courses was initiated by the registrar. This period gives students the opportunity to add or drop a class at their own free will outside of their scheduled registration time. However, the period did not get off without a hitch, as self-service experienced what Technology Services is calling high colleague volume. This issue ended up causing system difficulty during the reported hours of 10 to 12:30, according to a message posted on MyQ by the Technology Services team. The open registration period will be in effect until the 27th of November.
Quinnipiac has been increasing its class sizes each year, but are they prepared for such changes? The recent and quick increase in student body size has resulted in resource issues for students. Student Government Association is helping students identify these resource issues and address them with administration. The lack of resources in place with the health center has led to a 2-week wait for a counseling appointment, even for critical situations. SGA has created an ad hoc committee. Joe Iasso, SGA secretary, tells us what the ad hoc committee will be doing to help the Quinnipiac students, along with...
We've been able to get the health center to hire an additional counselor. They were short one this coming year because the counselor had left over the summer, so we were able to get administration to hire a fifth counselor, so now they're fully staffed. We've actually created an ad hoc committee on student government that I'm chairing that is supposed to look into all the things that the student population negatively affects and try to see what additional resources can be given to them so they're able to operate normally.
Along with lacking health services, students are also seeing a lack of sufficient parking. SGA has already begun to address this issue, but the ad hoc committee will stay in place to address any others that may arise from the student population increase. Lee Camlett, Dean of the School of Communications, plans to retire at the end of the academic year. This will be Camlett's 6th and last year at Quinnipiac after a 32-year career in broadcast journalism. Camlett is proud of everything the School of Communications faculty and staff has accomplished during his time as dean. He does not plan to take another administration position, and he will be not going back into the field of journalism. His plan for retirement is that he has no plan. However, he does want to do some personal writing studying, and he wants to spend time with his family. The International Student Association is currently hosting a culture night celebration out in the piazza.
Anna Sackle is standing by to give us the lowdown on the event. Anna?
Hey guys, so yeah, I'm out here right outside the studio on the piazza. Culture night is in full swing. There's a classic Nicaraguan dance going on behind me. It's kind of loud, I don't know if you can hear me, but there is food, there is dancing. Over 13 countries are here, and as well as the Muslim Student Association and the Gender and Sexuality Alliance. There's so much food, it smells great, it's loud, it's fun. People were giving free henna tattoos earlier, and right now I'm standing here with Basim Al-Bishri, who is from Saudi Arabia, who is a part of the night. So, Basim, what is so special about this night to you?
Well, I think it's fun that people have to know about everyone's cultures, you know. So we took this opportunity to present our culture and to show people who are really are. And we feel now that we are more responsible at this time, especially since everything is going to be changed in the future. So it's our duty that we show people who are we, actually. And that's it, yeah.
Okay, and so what sort of things did Saudi Arabia bring to show everyone your culture today?
Well, the old fashion of the way that we used to live in the past, different kind of foods that people still are now usually eat it, and the main thing is like rice with meat or chicken, and dates, the Arabic coffee, the Arabic tea, and some sweets, you know, that's it.
Okay, awesome. Well, that's all I have out here for you. I'm going to send it back into the street right now.
Thanks, Anna. That's great stuff. When we come back, we'll talk about some Turkey Day action.
And Carrie Golden is standing by with our national news update. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All this and more.
Coming up on the Q30 Newscast.
It's 9:30 Eastern, and you know what that means. Sports Pause is on the air.
Ball played up the middle. Iman Whalen with a little cheat off the pipe.
Preseason just boils down to going after another national championship and not necessarily focusing on the one before.
MJ, it is time for our favorite part of the show. It's the top 5 plays of the week, brought to you by B&D Deli, home of the Q-Dog.
Let's talk about the first play you want to break down.
Yeah, let's break it down right away.
But the one name I'm going to throw out there is a freshman, Mika Maples.
This week's trending topic is #that. We are your source for Quinnipiac entertainment news.
Welcome back to the Q30 Newscast.
Thanks for staying with us.
Well, Thanksgiving is just over a week away, and there's already a buzz around the school community about food and break plans.
Michael Brennan has the story, which you can check out later on Q30television.com.
Well, Brooke, I just can't wait for some mashed potatoes. Moving on, let's jump over to the national news update.
I wonder what's going on in the country this week. Kerry Golden is here to tell us the story. Kerry?
Thanks, guys. The outbreak of public political discussion has even taken to the skies. A United Airlines pilot banned all political talk on a flight from San Francisco to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, after a passenger aboard made a political, racist comment to another passenger, causing her to react and create an altercation. Crew members separated the two passengers and asked the captain to address the passengers while in flight. He reminded everyone that they were fighting over politics, quote, in a metal tube at 35,000 feet, end quote. The captain asked everyone to respect one another's decisions and get along. Passengers aboard the flight cheered and applauded. Wildfires near the Georgia-North Carolina border are producing smoke so thick that residents are being urged to wear special masks even when outdoors. Advanced masks were being distributed as regular surgical masks could not provide enough protection from smoke inhalation. These ongoing fires have burned more than 13,300 acres. According to fire managers, the fires were only 20% contained as of mid-October, and the smoke prompted air quality authorities to declare a code orange in Charlotte, North Carolina last Friday. These fires have led to recent evacuations in Georgia, North Carolina, and Tennessee. About 1,500 Border Patrol agents will be deployed to South Texas to help process a recent rise in illegal immigration. These additional agents will help with the screening and processing of immigrants. During the last 2 years, hundreds of thousands of immigrants have sought refuge along the U.S.-Mexico border. The majority of these immigrants are Central American families fleeing drug-related violence south of the border. Leaders in the South Texas city of McAllen say they are struggling to provide services to these immigrants and have spent more than $1 million over a 2-year period on showers, tents, and other needs. Police have finally arrested a man for the mall shooting in Guilderland, New York this past week. 20-year-old Tashim Mayweather of Albany was taken into custody and charged with first-degree reckless endangerment and criminal possession of a weapon in the second degree after being arrested on Monday. Witnesses reported gunshots at approximately 2:30 on the mall's lower level. The mall was soon on lockdown for 6 hours as more than 100 law enforcement officials searched the scene. The shooting erupted following a dispute between two people, and the exact number of shots fired is still unclear. Mayweather was caught through surveillance footage and found leaving an Albany car wash. Mayweather is currently on probation until 2020 for a prior felony and remains in the Albany County Jail until his preliminary hearing Friday morning. No one was hurt in the incident. Well, that's all I have this week for your national news update. Have a happy Thanksgiving, and back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Kerry. When we come back, Mike Iozzo is going to give us the weekly weather update.
And Caitlin Wardlow has some entertainment news you won't want to miss. Stay with us. All this and more.
Coming up on the Q30 Newscast.
It's 9:30 Eastern, and you know what that means. Sports Pause is on the air.
Left ball played up the middle. Iman Whalen with a little cheat off the pipe.
Preseason just boils down to going after another national championship and not necessarily focusing on the one before.
MJ, it is time for our favorite part of the show. It's the top 5 plays of the week, brought to you by B&D Deli, home of the Q-Dog.
Let's talk about the first play you want to break down.
Yeah, let's break it down right away.
But the one name I'm going to throw out there is a freshman, Mika Maples.
This week's trending topic is #that. We are your source for Quinnipiac entertainment news.
Welcome back. We missed you. Well, Brooke, it was raining sideways yesterday, and I was not a fan at all.
Well, Kirby, Mike Iozzo is standing by with the weekly weather report, and maybe he'll have a sunnier take on things. Mike?
Thanks, guys. All right, so today in the southern part of Connecticut, we had temperatures ranging from around 52 all the way up to 58 in New London. Temperatures down where we are were about 53 down by the New Haven area, and it was a kind of mild day. There was a little bit of rain in the morning, but it didn't last, and we had a pretty clear day. So tonight's forecast. I'm standing outside right now, so I can tell you that this is very true. It is cold out. It is 41 degrees, clear skies as I can see. That's correct. And we have wind blowing from the northwest of 3 miles per hour. It is chilly. I don't know if you guys can see, but my breath is showing right now. It is very, very cold out. Tomorrow's forecast, we have a high of 59. It's going to be right in the around 59 to 60 range, and it's going to be sunny. But there is going to be a little bit of wind chill that's going to play into it. 10 to 15 miles per hour blowing from the north to northwest. It's going to feel a little bit colder than 60, but it is going to be nice enough where you're not going to have to bundle up with a big bubble jacket or anything like that. 7-day forecast. All right. So tomorrow, the temperature is going to be around 60, and it's going to be a low of 38. High is 62, low of 37. It's going to be sunny skies on Friday. Saturday starts our break. It's going to be really nice out, 60 degrees, low of 43. Nice day to go out, spend some time with your family outside, go to a park. Sunday, it is going to be cloudy though. Low of 33, high of 50. That's going to be colder than most of these other days that we're going to see this week. Monday, it's going to be partly cloudy skies, high of 44, low of 27. It's going to get really, really, really cold on Monday. Tuesday, it's going to be mid to low 40s, and it's going to be a low of 34. Wednesday, we're also going to see partly cloudy skies with a high of 51 and a low of 36. That's all I have for weather today. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Mike. Many students showed up to the Mount Carmel Auditorium for the Let's Get It On event on Monday night. The Quinnipiac Gay Straight Alliance and Women in Support of Humanity hosted the event. Assistant teaching professor in psychology, Stacy Masari, opened the event with a video comparing the ways people hooked up in the 90s to how they do now. They raffled off free sex toys, condoms, and candy. This event was intended to teach students about safe sex, consent, and to answer any intimate questions. Masari spoke to us and explained what important tools students could walk away with. The event was successful and left students
to create a space for students to come and ask questions about sexuality, contraception, consent, and to really talk about different issues that they're facing. And in particular, this event tonight is about hookup culture and how that affects people on campus.
And what is the biggest thing you want students to walk away with after hearing this?
I want students to walk away with the feeling that they're empowered to advocate for what they want in the bedroom, with their sexual partners, and with their friends, that they feel comfortable and feel like they have the ability to ask for what they want.
The event was successful and left students informed with goodie bags.
Last night, QU After Dark, or Quad for short, hosted an event called Fire and Ice. Quad members invited students upstairs to the Rotunda area for free ice cream sundaes, coffee, and hot chocolate. With Thanksgiving just around the corner, it seems that many are being faced with quite a bit of work this week. The event provided an opportunity to close the books and shut the laptops while enjoying sugary goodness. I, for one, had to partake and found the hot chocolate to be delightful. You know, entertainment is supposed to be entertaining.
That's why we have an entertainment segment, Kirby, duh. Here's Caitlin Wardlow with this week's entertainment update. Caitlin?
Thanks, guys. Another Kardashian entered the world last Thursday. Model Blac Chyna and fiancé Rob Kardashian welcomed 7-pound, 5-ounce Dream Renee Kardashian at the Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles. It is actually the same hospital where Kim Kardashian gave birth to Saint West last year. The couple have been together since 2014. This is Rob's first child and Chyna's second, as she shares son King Cairo with rapper Tyga. When asked about what kind of dad she thinks Rob will be, Chyna said, quote, "Rob has so many traits like my dad, so I think he's going to be great with a baby. I'm sure he's nervous. I think any new dad should be," end quote. Another celebrity also has exciting baby news. Pop singer Pink posted a picture on Instagram over the weekend holding her baby bump with the caption, "Surprise." Also in the picture is Pink's 5-year-old daughter, Willow. Pink is married to ex-motocross racer Carrie Hart, and the couple celebrated their 10th wedding anniversary earlier this year. In an interview on Good Morning America in May, Pink hinted at the pregnancy, saying that having a successful family is her #1 goal. If you went to see Doctor Strange this weekend in theaters, you weren't the only one. For the second weekend in a row, the movie has been at the top of the box office, making $15 million on Friday for a total of $125 million over the past 2 weeks alone. The fast-paced action film starring Benedict Cumberbatch from Marvel is about a surgeon who loses the ability to use his hands. Throughout the movie, Doctor Strange discovers that he can control his spiritual powers thanks to the help from the Ancient One. Getting a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, this movie is yet another Marvel hit. Ed Sheeran is making headlines this week, but not for his singing. The star is cleaning out his closet to help those in need for a charity auction to help East Anglia's children's hospices, a cause Duchess of Cambridge, Kate Middleton, has supported for years. Some items of Sheeran's up for sale are skinny jeans, t-shirts, and the infamous checked shirts. The biggest item for sale is the Burberry tuxedo he wore at the 2013 Grammys, complete with a taxi bill and business card found in one of the pockets. The auction runs through November 20th. Sheeran has been an ambassador for this charity since 2014 and most recently sold one of his drum sets and donated $3,310 he received to the charity. That's all for your entertainment news. Now back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Caitlin. When we come back, my favorite smiley friend, Kyle Lavassa, will have this week's Quinnipiac Sports Action Update.
And we'll say goodnight to you, but not just yet. Don't go anywhere.
All this and more.
Coming up on the Q30 Newscast.
It's 9:30 Eastern, and you know what that means. Sports Pause is on the air.
Left ball played up the middle. Iman Will with a little cheat off the pipe.
Preseason just boils down to going after another national championship and not necessarily focusing on the one before.
MJ, it is time for our favorite part of the show. It's the top 5 plays of the week, brought to you by B&D Deli, home of the Q-Dog.
Let's talk about the first play you want to break down.
Yeah, let's break it down right away.
But the one name I'm going to throw out there is a freshman, Mika Maples.
This week's trending topic is #that. We are your source for Quinnipiac entertainment news.
Newscast is back and it's better than ever.
Kyla Vassar is here with QU Sports.
Thanks, guys. And while I might be all smiles, there were some fall sports teams that were not after this weekend. Hi, guys. I'm Kyle Vassar here with your full Quinnipiac sports report. And let's start with the men's soccer team. Playoffs are here for the men's soccer team as they took action this week in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference playoffs. The Bobcats were the #1 seed, giving them home field advantage throughout the MAC tournament. The first game was smooth sailing for Quinnipiac against Canisius. The team won 3-1. Thanks to goals from Eamon Whalen, Rashawn Daly, and Matthew Taylor. Final match was a different story, however, as the Bobcats lost to the second-seeded Rider Bronx 3-1. MAC Coach of the Year Eric DaCosta talked after the final game.
They want greatness. They want to achieve. They want to win championships, and they did. We won a regular season championship. Unfortunately, we don't have the right to move forward and represent the MAC in the NCAA tournament. Only one team finishes their season with a win, and that's a national champion. Other than that, everybody else along the way is going to eventually fall. Unfortunately for us, it wasn't our time. Hopefully in the future, these guys have their time.
The rugby team is 1 win away from returning back to the national championship. In the first round of the playoffs, the team faced off against Westchester. It was a no-contest win for the Bobcats as they won 94-15. Sophomore Emily Roskoff led the team with 6 tries on the day. Up next for the Bobcats, they traveled to Army, the team they beat in last year's national championship, for the semifinal round. The Quinnipiac volleyball team is ready to make its postseason run. The Bobcats made history as this year is the first time in program history that the volleyball team clinched a playoff spot. In fact, this season marks the highest amount of wins the program has ever had, with 11 MAC wins and 19 overall. The Bobcats are coming into the playoffs after dropping 5 of their last 7 games. The team opens up tournament play against Niagara on November 18th in the quarterfinal round. The Bobcats went 0-2 against 6th-seeded Niagara in the regular season, and the Q30 Sports beat reporter teams will be there covering the match. And finally, the men's ice hockey team had a 2-game weekend at home this past Friday and Saturday. After taking down Dartmouth 6-3 on Friday, Quinnipiac took on ECAC rival on Saturday, Harvard. Let's go to the tape, a battle of 2 top 10 teams in the country at High Point Solutions Arena. And Quinnipiac is going to get on the board first as freshman Brogan Rafferty snipes one from the far post from the blue line, giving Quinnipiac a 1-0 lead. But a dominant Harvard offense would come back, tying the game at 1. Victor Dombrowski scores off a juicy rebound from Chris Truhl. He had a few problems with the rebounds in this game. We see another one. Sean Malone from Harvard scores off a backhander. Another rebound led up by Truhl. Harvard now leads 2-1. But Quinnipiac coming back. Craig Martin, what a snipe from the blue line right over the goalie's pad, tying the game at 2. And then Quinnipiac back on the power play, their bread and butter. Luke Shiplow, beautiful celly, 3-2 Quinnipiac as they enter the third period. And then finally, with 32 seconds left in the frame, Tommy Shutt with a great play. Look at this hustle here on the replay to get that empty net goal and put the nail in the coffin as Quinnipiac would win 4-2. With that win, Quinnipiac now moves up to number 4 in the country, and they have a 2-game away series at Cornell and at Colgate this weekend. Well, guys, that's all for sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Kyle. Well, that'll just about do it for us here on the Newscast.
Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Q30 News and at Q30 Television. And for all of the producers, the people behind the scenes, we want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving and thank you for tuning in with us this week.
As Ellen would say, be kind to one another. Have a great week.